Hi everybody, today we are going to study about combined average. In this, let there be two groups G1 and G2 with following details. In that, group G1 has number of observation N1 and average X1 bar, and in group G2 number of observations are N2 and average X2 bar. Okay, then X1 bar, which means average of group 1, is equal to sum of observations in G1 divided by N1, and similarly in X2 bar, average of group 2nd X2 bar is equal to sum of observations in G2 divided by N2. Okay, so we have from this step N1 X1 bar, this is shifted to left side. So N1 X1 bar is equal to sum of observation in G1 and N2 X2 bar is equal to sum of observation in G2. Therefore, sum of observation in both group, that means addition of this both, will be gives us a sum of observation in both groups G1 and G2 is equal to N1 X1 bar plus N2 X2 bar. Okay, so now the average of both group will be equal to, or we consider it as X bar is equal to N1 X1 bar plus N2 X2 bar, which is sum of observation in both group, divided by number of observation in N1 plus number of observation in G1 group, which is N1, and number of observation in group G2 is N2. Okay, so this we add at denominator N1 plus N2, which is combined average of group G1 and G2. Okay, if there are given three groups, if we have given here N3 and X3 bar, that means group 3 has N3 number of observation and its average is X3 bar. Here is only change, we can say that for three groups, or here we can set for three groups, say G1, G2, G3. The formula will become X1 bar is equal to N1 X1 bar plus N2 X2 bar plus N3 X3 bar divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3, which means number of observation in G1 plus number of observation in G2 plus number of observation in G3. Okay, if group increases, we will change the formula in that type. Okay, now there is a remark. If there is a group, let there be a group of N1 observations with average X1 bar. Okay, in that, if from this group, okay, if you consider G1 as this G as a group or G1 as a group, if from this group, that means in G1 N2 observation having average X2 are removed, okay, from first group only, G1 number of observations N2 are removed from G1 and its average is X2 bar, then the average of remaining N1 minus N2 observation is N1 X1 bar, okay, minus N2 X2 bar upon N1 minus N2, okay, which is our remark for combined average. Now we see the examples related to combined average. Now example is, if the average of 5 numbers is 60, which is our first group, the average of 10 numbers is 30, which is our second group, and the average of 15 numbers is 20, which is our third group. So in this example there are three groups given. Find the average of all the 30 numbers. Okay, so in this we have to first write in solution, we can consider given in first group there are 5 numbers, so we write N1 is equal to 5 and its average is 60. So X1 bar is equal to 60. Okay, now the average of 10 numbers, which means N2 is equal to 10 and is 30, which means X2 bar average of second group is 30. Next, average of 15 numbers is 20, that means N3 is equal to 15 and average X3 bar is equal to 20. Okay, now let X bar be the average of all 30 numbers. If you add N1 plus N2 plus N3, which is 10, 5 plus 10 plus 15, which is 30. Okay, so we have to find the average of all these three. Therefore x bar is equal to n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar plus n3 x3 bar divided by n1 plus n2 plus n3, which is equal to n1 is 5 into 60 plus n2 is 10 into 30 plus 15 into 20 divided by n1 is 5 plus 10 plus 15, okay, which is equal to, now 60 into 5 is 300 plus 10 into 30 is 300 plus 15 into 20 is 300 again divided by 30, okay, 5 plus 10 plus 15, which is equal to 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 900 divided by 30, which will gives 30. Therefore x bar is equal to 30. X bar is equal to 30, that is average of all 30 numbers is 30, okay, which is our required solution. Now next example is, if the average of m numbers is n square and that of n numbers is m square, then find the average of m plus n numbers, okay. So here we have, in first group, if you consider this as a first group, n1 is equal to m and its average is n square, so x1 bar is equal to n square, sorry, it is n square, comma, and that of n numbers is m square, that means n2 is equal to n numbers and its average x2 is equal to m square, x2 bar is equal to m square, okay, and let x bar be the average of m plus n observations. Then x bar is equal to, formula is n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar divided by n1 plus n2, which will gives us n1 is m into n square plus n into m square divided by m plus n, which is equal to, here in from both m n can be taken as a common term, m and n is present in both terms, so mn is taken common, so here m is taken common, so here only it is n square and one n is taken common, so from first n will be remain and from second m will be remain, and it can be written, m plus n can be written as n plus m, so from numerator and denominator it get cancelled and it's only remain mn, okay, it is in multiple form only, so that we can cancel it. Cancel means it is 1 ones, okay, so x bar is equal to m into n, which is average of m plus n numbers, okay. Now consider next example. The average of 5 numbers is 20 and the average of 3 of them is 14, then find the average of remaining numbers, okay. So here we have given n1 is equal to 5 and x1 bar is equal to 20, okay, and n2 is equal to, now here it is given that the average of 3 of them, that means these 3 observations are present in this, okay, so n2 is equal to 3 and its x2 bar is given as a 14, okay. So we will use here remark and we have to find, let x bar be the average of remaining numbers, okay. So we consider x bar is equal to, here formula will be n1 x1 bar minus n2 x2 bar divided by n1 minus n2, okay. So here n1 is 5 into x1 is 20 minus n2 is 3 and it is 14 divided by n1 minus n2, which means 5 minus 2, which will gives us as 100 minus 42 divided by 2. 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2, which is equal to 100 minus 42 divided by 2. Its total calculation will gives us 29. Okay, which is 58 upon 2, which will be 29. That means average of remaining numbers is equal to 29. Okay, which is our required solution.